Well, she may be hot, but she still has to come up with the cold cash. $5 million in cold cash to be exact. That is how much former Miss USA contestant Sheena Minen has to fork over to the Donald after a judge upheld an arbitrator's decision that she defamed Donald Trump and the beauty pageant he helps oversee. Minen, you might recall, accused pageant officials of rigging last year's contest and pre-selecting its winners, later saying the show was, quoting here, fraudulent, lacking in morals, inconsistent, and in many ways trashy. You know, someone said the same about this show. Anyway, Trump called it loser's remorse and quickly filed suit. He won. And now Minen's got to come up with the $5 million she says she doesn't have. To Sharon Liko and Dominic Romano to try this. Dominic, what happens now?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he actually collects the judgment, whether he'll go, Mr. Trump will, and the pageant organizers will enforce the $5 million judgment that they've secured against.
She doesn't have the money, but of course these things don't matter in cases like this. The fine still stands, right?
That's right. They have 20 years to collect, and they can garnish her wages or earnings, put liens on her properties, and not just now, but in the future. Unless, of course, he calls her into a conference room and tries to settle.
All right, or tries to just be a big man about it, say, look, she apologized. And all. Sharon, where do you think this is going?
This is just a case of sour grapes with a capital S and a capital G. This woman never had a case. She trumped up, so to speak, the whole thing. She didn't even show up to the arbitration. It was frivolous and groundless. You know, Trump's never going to collect. He's not laughing all the way to the bank. This woman's judgment proof. She'll file bankruptcy or will garnish her wages for $50 a month.
She was never able to prove it. She had said that there was a list circulating that had the 5 finalists or what have you, that list never existed or they never found that, and her case just sort of imploded, right?
Well, her case varied. I mean, initially she resigned because she objected to the transgender contestants. She didn't want to be competing against natural males. Then it was because it was rigged, and supposedly Miss Florida was her star witness who saw this list of the 5 finalists before the selection process actually occurred. Well, where's Miss Florida? She's nowhere to be found. Now she's deciding that they had to go to Vegas and there were sexual innuendos and jokes in bad taste, and so that was trashy. This woman is all over the map. She's extending her 15 minutes of fame. She's had it. She's done.
All right. That's pretty harsh. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I think that is a little bit harsh. I mean, you can't help but feel sorry for her in a way, but there is a lesson in this. You just can't take to the web and post your opinions on things without some acknowledgement or some consideration to the consequences. People call my office all the time about reviews that people have written about them or statements that people have made online, others have made online, and it's all fair and well if the statements are truthful.
When you put it out there on the web, it's open, right?
Yeah, it opens yourself up to this kind of action. If the statements aren't true or you can't prove that they're true, then they have an ability to become defamatory and to cause economic harm to another party. And that's what the Trump and pageant people are claiming.
But
well, she did cause economic harm. They lost a $5 million endorsement from a corporation because of these allegations. Is that how they came up with the $5 million? That's how they came up with the $5 million.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a $10 million. Originally, the suit was for $10 million, but the arbitration action. But the final award was for $5. BP apparently they'd been in discussions with BP to commit that amount of money to have the next pageant in the Gulf Coast area because it was economically disadvantaged and to bring publicity to that area. Right.
So I mean, she really did cause them harm. And I'm not one to jump on the defense of Donald Trump bandwagon, but he's right here.
Yeah, but did they pay much attention to what beauty contests of any sort say? Not believing that they're not lovely people and maybe even they're very smart people, but it's a beauty contest. I mean, let's take a chill pill.
Hey, you know, maybe she's going to get a job at some marketing capacity because she's got the guts to take on Donald Trump. So maybe this is just a long job interview.
Maybe she's on The Next Apprentice.
Could be.
Maybe this is all a big marketing strategy.
She did receive some odd legal advice, though. Here, as I understand it,
she needed proof.
She didn't present any. She didn't appear at the arbitration. Neither did her counsel, as I understand it.
She did nothing.
Right, and that's part of the problem here.
Yeah, she did nothing. In fact, she's got a legal defense fund. She's asking people to contribute. If people did contribute, they need to request a refund with interest at the legal rate because there was no defense.
All right, Sharon, you don't seem very warm and fuzzy on this particular issue. But we wanted to get to the bottom of this, and we thought it was a big news story. It was purely coincidental that we were running pageant video as that discussion ensued. But we felt you needed to know, to be abreast of everything.